बोधचक्षुषः शुद्धचिद्घनमनादिवस्तु यद् ब्रह्मतत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि ब्रह्मतत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि. The Supreme Brahman is beyond the range of speech. It is known only through the eye of pure illumination, and it is sheer mass of consciousness, and it is a beginning, and it is beginningless. Please meditate that Brahman, the what in your mind.
How to meditate that Brahman in our mind. When the mind is occupied by worldly things all the time, unending desires, stories from past, stories about future. Just analyze your thoughts. Whatever thoughts you are getting, are these thoughts remembering Brahman? Or are these thoughts about beings and things? Mind is nothing but I thought. All thoughts comes after I thought. Brahman is not I thought. What Neelakantan ji just said, same thing is said in Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Bhuva Sva Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. This buddhi, this mind, should be encouraged, blessed to remember Brahman all the time. And what is the benefit? If it keeps remembering Brahman all the time, it merges in Brahman. It becomes Brahman. It knows Brahman. There is no other way to know Brahman than be Brahman. Meditating on Brahman by mind dissolves mind in Brahman. Then you don't have any personal mind. Devotees of Brahman, they always praise Brahman in form or formless, with name or nameless, constantly within, manan, remembering by japa, by paying attention to that emptiness and going beyond that emptiness, observing as a neutral observer, witnessing as uninvolved, doing actions disinterested, as if body is an instrument working on command of Supreme. No personal interest or control. Taking the name of Supreme in any form, which we call japa, chanting the name constantly in mind, or counting the beads, or taking the name aloud, or doing bhajan. Whatever is easy for you, whatever you can do as prescribed in a religion, or you can just do as you want, as you wish. Pick up a method which you can do constantly throughout the day. Mind which is going to Vishay Vastus, subjects, things, once it starts tasting the bliss within as it unfolds by your sadhana, by your practice, by your tapas, then it stays there unmoved. Then these practices becomes natural. If you are doing japa, japa continues. It continues in your sleep. It continues as a background japa all the time. If you just practice witnessing, this witnessing continues. naturally after some time. And that mind which was giving rise to all the trouble, you cannot find it. The constant chatterbox, mind talking to that I thought responding to mind, that constant conversation ends when that mind finds bliss within your heart. It is like in a classroom, before the teacher arrives, all the students are making hell of a noise, talking loudly, running around. As soon as the teacher enters the classroom, all that noise turns into pin drop silence. No chatter, no thought, no noise. Pure bliss. Bliss of the self. When this teacher arrives, it arrives not to go back again. Now it will be shining eternally in heart of this body. And when the body drops, it is everywhere. It is the same. Mind has two functions. First one, which we all are involved, is to experience this world, people, things. When we think we had enough of experience, good and bad, we had enough of entertainment, we have lived a life of projected mind. Now we want to come back home and this virtual reality. Then this inner journey starts by your intention. And with grace of Supreme, you come back home. As you have no interest, but you showed your interest and this movie already started, you have receded back in your heart. But whatever the time left for this movie to continue will continue. This is the most beautiful state a body can be. When it has found its own bliss and is still living because there is no purpose of living now. There is no experiencer inside now who has an intention, passion, doership, no personal agenda, no personal goal. That one has receded and merged back to the source. So the body's interest in experiencing has disappeared. So many saints and sages, after realization, they have ended life. I can't say they ended, I think the purpose was done. And they left the body. Or perhaps the body stays till it has to, as decided before this body was born. This dream world has to end for the one living in the body, for us. If we are watching the dream, then only we have to end the dream, not the dream people. So meditate on this Brahman all the time. Be with your inner silence. Recognize this inner silence. Be with your inner silence all the time. That is Brahman, beyond thoughts, beyond form. Trust me, all answers are there in this silence. All doubts will disappear in this silence. Silence is pure knowledge. Silence speaks without body, without mind, without form. You are this pure bliss. Meditate on Brahman with earnestness, with humility, full of love and devotion, not wanting anything in return. Not even self-realization. Allow yourself to merge in it. Become one. You are pure self, Brahman, pure silence. Living in this body, you are never involved in anything. The one who is involved or who thinks he is involved Deeply inquire and question that entity. Your inquiry will finish this illusion, and you will realize that you never moved. You were always in your perfect stillness. You have never done anything right or wrong. You never played any role. You never moved from your heart. This life is a long dream. When the dream ends, you realize you were always still. When the dream ends, do you still blame yourself? Whatever you have done? You only say, oh, it was a dream. Or do you analyze dream and call people who were in the dream to say sorry to them? To that level, it can still be okay. They will accept your sorry. But if you call them, so they should be sorry to what they said to you in the dream. Would they agree? They will think how stupid this person is. It was his dream, and he's asking us to say sorry. Exactly is the situation right now. When we are asking others to say sorry to what they have done to us, or we hold grudges, silence of Brahman is the vehicle on which you can know reality. There is no other way. Never at the level of mind, intellect, you can never know it. You have to bring this intellect, mind to the feet of Lord. You are that reality. All what we think we are is only a reflection. Like a hologram. Tasha wants to ask a question.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Thank you for the opportunity to ask a question. I guess over the last few years, I've been quite deeply invested in the self, and that's been a beautiful process that has come really naturally. And I've been able to really work with the self through all my connections, particularly at work. But the old personality, I guess, is struggling with my longer term connections with my family and friends who don't necessarily know this path that I'm on. And so it makes a lot of the experiences with those people quite difficult because I can't communicate this journey. But my life is beautiful and peaceful, and I only grow deeper in my connection to the self. So it's almost like the ego is struggling when I'm with my older friends and connections. For example, I was supposed to go away this weekend with a group of friends, and I had to cancel that last minute because I just don't know how to connect. I don't know how to talk about this person or this self that I sit within. And so it's quite challenging, and I don't know if it's a question or it's comfort I'm seeking or the ego seeking. But I guess at the heart of it, it feels like the one thing that this ego again is really struggling with, because the ego at work has completely let go and doesn't, I don't have a purpose anymore. I've always been very purpose driven. I don't have a purpose. I don't have a purpose in my life. You've spoken this morning about a lot of the things that I feel very comfortable with. I've grown significantly into that space. But this one thing, which is my past, so my ego's past, and who people identify me as in that past, it's that which is the thing that continues to draw me back and causes me anxiety, particularly in these moments where a group of friends wants to go away and I, very last minute have had to cancel because it feels quite painful to try and be in a situation that I don't identify with.
Thank you, Tasha, to share this. And I think what you're saying, a lot of people will agree with that on the path of seeking that pure self. And more you start feeling the bliss of your own solitude, all the impressions of people whom you were closed, you don't like to get back into that energy field. And this happens mostly with the people who are very close to us, family members, relatives and close friends, long-term friends, because they have not changed. They are there as they were. Now you have moved on. Now they think you are the same, that person who has same interest. Now you have no interest. So in a way, you are not interested in those talks and you become boring for them. And sometimes to just show that you are the same person, you have to put a mask or you have to play a role which you are not comfortable at all now. You have moved out of that. So a lot of people, they have this attitude to avoid companies, to avoid especially a bigger company, because one-to-one you can still sort out things, but in a group we just get lost completely. And And I think that's okay. If you don't want to go, it's fine. You can just say, look, sorry, I don't want to go. And I can share so many times it happened with me as well. In those initial days, I was so much in bliss, and someone invites, and I used to go, but completely staying alone, finding a corner or talking, but without any sense of acknowledging what is happening, because zero interest in those talks. Because just if you record the talks, it's all for fun. Talks doesn't mean anything. It could be gossip, it could be something just talking about something which has no meaning. This is what we talk when we talk too much, in group and company. But another thing which is very important with ego is very much attached to its past and memories and what has gone through between you and that person in life. And it thrives on that, and then it has mental impressions about people. And the thing is that how to get rid of it? Go deeper in your own space. So this all dissolves. It is like the tail end of the ego. And yes, it causes some pain, it causes some resentment, you want to avoid, and you don't want to be in that situation. But ask the question, who is that who doesn't want to be in that situation? So there is some part of us which is still having this role play. And this is a good thing, because that tells us that there's something is still left which needs to be finished. So this type of feeling, rather than thinking, oh my God, if I avoid, then I am free and then I am pure self. No. This has to also go. We have to live in this projection of our own mind, but who has to know the truth? You have to know the complete truth and be peaceful with whatever it is. Because the mess what is created by the ego in the past, who has to clear this mess? Only we have to clear this mess. It is our own mess. We can't just leave and go. Where will we go? There is no place to go. Only we have to clear it. You can clear by so many ways. Say sorry to people, forgive them, forgive yourself. And that's all. And if someone is saying something, just let them say. We have said so many things to so many people unnecessarily. Sometimes you don't say anything, but people can feel bad. So many times you can have pure intentions, but people can take it otherwise, because they are also conditioned by mind. So have compassion for all the beings, because everyone is trapped in their own mind. And the only way we can be out is, first we have to be out. We have to be completely out. So the people whom you think their company or talking to them brings restlessness in you, from this level you have to move to a level that when you enter into that company, all of them feel rest and peace. They say when Buddha used to move, everything used to get blessed. Everything used to get blessed. The whole village, that countryside, people. It was like wave of bliss, peace, just invading. They said, look, it was 2,500 years ago. But you can imagine he used to walk not alone. He used to walk with thousands of bhikshus. And they always walked. He didn't travel much. He traveled only probably 3 states of India in the north. Always walked. He didn't travel. He didn't like there were vehicles, but he always walked. So much of bliss, so much of bliss. So what I would suggest you is to be in your self, that this tail end of the ego also get dissolved. Nothing is left. The one which gets unhappy about a situation or people or whatever is part of that ego only, part of individuality only. Though it might be very small and it might be raising its ugly head only in certain situations with certain people, but still we can realize that it is still there. So let it finish, let it finish, let it go. So if avoiding companies for some time helps you to abide in your own solitude, that's okay. But I would say, don't have any resentment against anyone. It is just play of the illusion. They are also entrapped in that illusion. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.